Hello and welcome, everyone. Brian Smith, publisher of Inside the Knights on Fan Nation, powered by Sports Illustrated. And this is a little preview of my college football top 25 for the upcoming 2021 college football season. I don't really have any particular reason for every team. I'm just going to go through a few of them and why I have them where I do. So let's just start off at the top. Alabama is Alabama. Prove me wrong. They're the best team until somebody knocks them off. They're going to bring in Bryce Young. He played at Mater Dei, arguably the best high school program in the country. And he's a kid that is just absolutely electric with his accuracy and his decision-making. I don't expect Alabama to really drop off much, if at all, as scary as that is. Remember, they won the national title game last year, 52-24 over Ohio State. That's a 4-touchdown win against a tremendous football team. They also beat Notre Dame 31-14 in the semifinal. When you crush the two teams in the Final Four, you're really good, and they're just bringing in more players. Prove me wrong. If you want to go down through the top 10, it's debatable. I've got my list here. I'm sitting here looking at it. Clemson, Ohio State, Texas A&M, Georgia. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Number 6, I've got Oklahoma. 7, Notre Dame. 8, North Carolina. None of those are really shocking. Maybe one a little higher, a little lower. But that group right there, about 1 through 8, I think is the difference makers. And the main theme with these teams is the following: quarterback play. They either have a really good quarterback returning or a tremendous player who's probably gotten at least a little bit of playing time coming into the program and doing well as a backup, and now he's going to assume the starting role. All of those teams have big-time players. There's just no way around it. A few of those guys at quarterback are probably going to be first-round draft picks, if not top 5 draft picks. Talking about Oklahoma's quarterback, Spencer Rattler, obviously tremendous player. And then, North Carolina, they've got a great quarterback too. So the top 8 to me are what I would call separators. They have depth on defense. They've got a lot of guys that can run, and they've got a quarterback. So keep that in mind. The team that I put right there on that edge, but it's harder to grade for me because they lost a very key part of their program, and I'll discuss that in a second, would be Cincinnati. This is a team that was very close last year to going undefeated. They had a couple of hiccups in terms of finding a way not to lose the game, but they just didn't get over the hump. That's a really good football team, but they also lost their defensive coordinator, who ironically went to Notre Dame, and Cincinnati plays at Notre Dame this year. So when you lose a really good coach, it's hard. I might have had them number 6 or number 7, but coaches matter. Moving down in through the list, the team that I didn't have ranked nearly as high as most would be Iowa State. Show me the reason I should rank you higher. I don't think, offensively, they're very good, but defensively, I just don't think they have enough depth and enough playmakers to really get over the top. And where would they rank if they played in the Southeastern Conference, the ACC, etc.? I don't know. But Brock Purdy will certainly keep you in a lot of games, and so will Breece Hall, their running back. That's a great football team on offense. I need to see more defensively to put them any higher. I right now have Iowa State 15th. Coming in, number 9, Cincinnati, 10, Ole Miss. That's my other surprise team. I think they're just flat out going to outscore teams. Matt Corral is my dark horse for the Heisman. If they could somehow win a shootout against Alabama, he's going to be in the Heisman race. They dropped 48 on Alabama last year. And while they gave up 63 because their defense was horrendous, 48 points is a lot. And you got to give a lot of credit to Lane Kiffin. Indiana, they've got a lefty quarterback that a lot of people need to pay attention to, but he is coming back off of injury. Let's see how he does. They can really throw the football. Southern California, another team. They've got a signal caller, Caden Slovis. Offensive line gives me some pause, but that's a very talented football team at the skill spots. They need to prove they can protect Slovis, and they also need to do a better job up front on the other side of the football and stop the run. Will that happen? I don't know. USC is an enigma and has been for several years. It's not like they lack athletes. Questionable what's going on with some of the decision-making, but they only lost 1 game last year in a shortened season. Can they take that next step? Let's find out. Going on through the list, the team that I'm just kind of going on coaching and my trust, that's the Florida Gators. I have no idea what's going to happen at quarterback this year. I do not care who they trot out in game 1, 2, or 3. Who's your starter in game, say, 7 or 8, maybe even game 10? That's the question. Is it a transition year for the Gators at quarterback? Do they figure it out? Do multiple guys play? That's why college football is fascinating. We really do not know yet. They do have a ton of skill, corner, running back, etc. They've got some playmakers. They can make it happen in a game on defense. The running game should improve. It was disappointing last year, but you're not going to replace Kyle Trask. You're just not. He was a Heisman finalist, and he deserved to be in New York for that award ceremony. That's going to be a very difficult ask. Miami, I have them a little higher than some people, but probably pretty similar to what most have them at 14. De'Aaron King is one of my favorite players in college football. He makes that team go both physically and mentally because his leadership skills. He's very well respected, and he should be. He's a 6-year senior. He's the kid that transferred over from Houston a couple of years ago, and I do believe, without question, he's a guy that if they can find a way to pass protect a little better and do a little bit better in the running game, he could be a dark horse for the Heisman as well. He is tremendous in space, and he'll make big plays in the RPO game. Moving on, number 15, like I mentioned a minute ago, was Iowa State, but then another team from that same general area, Wisconsin. Passing game has to improve. If it does, look out. They have a lot of really good talent up front, and that's nothing unusual. Good running backs. They need to find a way to throw the football because they can, not because they are forced to. They must be able to just drop back and throw it on 1st and 10 and not be forced into it on 3rd and 10. Let's see what the Badgers do there. I have Oregon at 17, a little concerned about their quarterback situation. LSU has all the talent in the world, but that program is a mess, especially off the field. If it wasn't for that, I'd have them somewhere like 7, 8, 9 because talent is certainly there. UCF, trust me, I know them well because I cover them, but I'm not just putting there for the heck of it. I get to see things that other people don't. I get to talk to people that other people don't. Their front 7 on defense, I'm telling you now, is going to be a lot different, and that's going to help that young secondary grow up. And they also had some transfers. Still don't know who the playmakers will be in the back end, but they've got plenty of bodies. Big Cat is going to be a defensive end to watch, and Kalia Davis up front on defense. Dylan Gabriel, by the way, he's another dark horse for the Heisman Trophy. Number 20, I have North Carolina State. They have the ability to throw the football and score some points. That's the name of the game in college football, so watch out. Iowa, that's a team that is as well coached as it gets in college football. Number 21, Arizona State. They got Daniels at quarterback. He's a playmaker, and they can really run the football too, setting up play action. And then Coastal Carolina, kind of the darlings of college football. Like Alabama, you know what? Hey, they keep doing it. I'm going to give you respect. I got them at number 23. 24, I have Texas, and that's just due to flat out having a great coach coming over. Steve Sarkisian did a great job at Alabama. Let's see what he can do in the pressure cooker that is Austin, Texas, and the Texas Longhorns. Finally, number 25, the Auburn Tigers. They're in a transition year. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, the coaching staff's new, but they have talent. Can they find a way to put it together? They always play one of the most difficult schedules. Their crossover game in the SEC East is always Georgia. I mean, that's a really tough rivalry, but it's the oldest rivalry in the Deep South, so it's not going anywhere. And, of course, they've got A&M, they've got Alabama, they've got Mississippi, they've got Ole Miss, and they've got LSU. Yeah, that's not easy. Oh, by the way, they play Arkansas as well. So it's a very difficult thing to look at this group and say, you know what, it's going to be an easy schedule. But Auburn's always played it, so let's see what they can do. I'm Brian Smith, publisher of Inside the Knights. Everybody have a good day.